Hello, welcome back to our 16th lesson. My name is Mr. Namaswa. We are going to look at communication business. Remember, for any success of a business, communication is very important. And basically, communication is going to refer to sending or passing of messages or information from one person to another. So as a business, communication is both internal, where the employees have to pass information amongst themselves, and it is also external, where business has to communicate with people outside the business, including the suppliers, the government, the banking, or the financial institutions, and so forth. That begins us to the start of our lesson. So we are talking about internal, external communication. And basically this is where we stopped our previous lesson. Now, effective communication is important so that the information sent in the message is received, understood, and acted upon as it should. Right? So we say information should be received, understood, acted upon. That's feedback. Now, it is important to businesses because if the message is not understood, it can lead to serious consequences. For example, you are involved in production activities, right? Then you have an order, right? The sales and marketing department says they require 50,000 bags of cement in a week, right? That's what the customers want. Now that information is not understood well, and the production department ends up producing only 1,000 bags of cement. What happens? There will be a shortage. There will be lower supply compared to the customers or the clients may be offended, and they may look for other suppliers of cement. That is a very serious consequence. Let's look at types of communication. There are two types of communication: business, and this is internal communication, which is communication between employees of the same business. The other one is called external communication, and this is communication between the business and other businesses and businesses. External communication has to be especially efficient because it establishes image and the efficiency of business. That is, if a company communicates efficiently with their suppliers, they may receive incorrect materials. So effectiveness in communication is very vital. Any business, if you don't communicate well, then it's going to be a problem. We talked about consequences. Now, what does effective communication involve? What should happen for communication to be said to be effective? Now, this is what we mean by effective communication. When a message is passed and the desired feedback is given, then we say there has been effective communication. I'll expound more. If, for example, I tell you, tomorrow come with 1,000 bags. When you come to school, now that information is going to be effective if you come with there are 100 birds. If you come with 50, or you don't come with anything, then I know the communication was not effective. The message was not disturbed. Now, let's look at what is involved in making communication effective. One is the transmitter. This is the sender of the message, the person to pass information. Very important. Okay. But here we have a medium of communication. And this is the method for sending the message. It could be email, it could be phone call, it could be SMS, it could be a letter, and so forth. That is medium communication. The third important item is the message itself, right? And this is the information being sent to the receiver. And next we have the receiver, right? The receiver of the information confirming that the message has been received and responds to it. What we call feedback. That is, if you practice all that, it brings about effective communication. Now there are two types of communication. We have one-way communication and two-way communication. In one-way communication, this is where the receiver cannot reply to the message. For example, posters. What are posters? Notices. This is whereby you walk around the roads or walls and you find some pieces of paper pinned there announcing some important information. Maybe there will be a free eye cleaning, right? Or there will be something like that. That is a poster. So when you read that message, you cannot reply to it. You only go as far what is being communicated, but you cannot respond to it. That is one way. Two-way communication, on the other hand, is where the receiver can respond to the message. Could be just confirmation that the message was received, maybe through email. Like when we write to the parents, you, informing you about certain school activities or programs, then the parent acknowledges by saying, "You've received your communication." That is, when you call someone on the phone, they're able to respond. That is two-way communication. Now, what are some of the methods of communication? Include one, verbal methods, right? Verbal, oral. Here, the sender speaks to the receiver, e.g., meetings, telephone, video, conference, by word of mouth. What are the advantages and disadvantages of verbal communication? Advantage number one, information given out quickly and efficient way to communicate with many people. So we can be able to communicate very quickly and with very many people. But two, it's an opportunity for immediate feedback. So you communicate, whoever the message is intended for, that is the recipient, is able to give you feedback immediately. Number three, the message can be reinforced by the speaker's body language. This is where we use gestures, we use facial expressions, and so forth. So the body language is able to reinforce the message. The disadvantages are that one, if talking to many people, it is hard to tell whether everyone got the message. At times, if you are talking to many people, it may not be easy to tell whether everyone got the message. Another disadvantage is that it's not good for accurate messages, and if a permanent record of the message is needed, there is no provision for future reference, right? So when communication is passed, there is no record. You cannot refer to it in the future. The second method of communication is written methods. And here, the sender creates emails, memos, memorandum, or letters, including the use of information. Well, here is where you can use email, though again it can be taken as electronic communication. So when we send letters, right? When you write a memo, a circular, that is written communication. What are the advantages? Disadvantages is one, the message can be referred to in the future as hard evidence. Number two, it's easy to explain complicated messages, so it can give room for detailed explanations. It can be copied and resent to many people, and also it is quick and cheap. It is very quick and it is very cheap. Disadvantage is one, it may lead to too many emails and information overload. So when people send a lot of emails, it may lead to overload. But two-way communication is difficult, and it's also hard to check if the message has been received or not. That brings us to the end of our first part of the lesson.